Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another reaction. Today we have Waking Shadows. This is by, hold on, I gotta look at this name again. Sad Keyboard Guy and Gardens. That's just a weird name. There was no way I was gonna remember that. But this was requested by Raruchi and my Patreon producer, Q, and it's actually featuring Ailey, who I remember from, I think, a Kurokote song. Yeah, I think it was Lyrile, or Lyra? Yeah, is that how you said it? I don't remember at this point. It's been so long. But I remember that name, Ailey, from that song. So at least I've heard the vocalist, so I kind of know what to expect there, but I don't know what this group is going to sound like or what their sound even is. So I guess I won't know if I don't start. And without further ado, let's go! Ooh. Ooh. That was high in the head voice. That was almost like whistle register vocals. Wow. Ooh, whoa. Ooh, whoa. Okay. Okay. It's gotta be a rhythm game. Yeah, it has to be in a rhythm game somewhere. I laugh when I'm surprised. That was so weird. I loved it. Ooh, 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 kill him. Oh, that's a great kick blend. That is phenomenal. All right. If this is what all their music is like, I think they found a new fan in me. That's brilliant. Love the half step there too. Not just good production, not just good mixing, but great compositional awareness too. That's a little less common than you would think. Woo! And the dynamic range of this. This is great. Dude. Dude. It's so well balanced in every way. can't help but like vibe with it. And such aggressive side chains on there too. But it's placed so well. Oh, my headphones are coming out. That's when you know it's a good song. Revisiting that. Man. This might be one of the best songs I've heard of this like rhythm game adjacent style. This like hardcore speedcore stuff that I've heard in a while. I've heard some amazing songs, don't get me wrong, but this is high up there for every possible reason. So if I'm going to place this up on a pedestal, I need to give kind of like a general expectation of where it's going to be. So like recently I listened to XH's Reflection. That was up there. That was a brilliant song. This is probably up there near, if not, it might be fighting it for its place in line, but T-Paso Light's Chuten, that was an amazing song. Plenty of just beautiful, delicious sound design stuff that I love and I have a personal bias towards. But this is so great in every similar way. The approach to the production, the balance of all of the sections throughout the song, the overall mix, the fucking mix is so clean in this. I adore the layering for the kick they had in here. It was so good. It was so tight. The side chaining only made that better too. Like this entire track was so beautifully layered and placed, and everything had a perfect decay. It had a perfect release. It had a perfect hold. Everything, the attack and everything on that side chain was brilliant, and it just played every positive to that kick especially. I mean, everything was kind of side chained together. I could definitely feel that happening, but mostly that kick and how clean that kick was. It was just so insanely good. But the reason this ranks so high on my list is specifically the musical awareness of this composer or composers. I'm not sure if it's Sad Keyboard Guy and Gardens as like a duo, if they are specifically a duo, or if it's just the name of one person. I have no clue. But point is, they did an amazing job with that, and the awareness of the musicality of this song. The fact that they had that slower section in there, which I've talked about many times. I like it when these songs have slow sections because it allows the listener just a few seconds to think about what they heard and process everything. I've retread that exact same opinion many times, but it's definitely worth stating every single time because it's so important to the listener. And a lot of people, I feel like, especially in this scene, because it's usually just filled with constant rhythm, they don't think about the musicality, or they don't need to care about it because they're focused on the rhythm and how to approach it in the game that they're playing that it's charted in, which is fine. You know, like it's a much more utilitarian approach for music at that point. But when you're talking about it as a musician, which is how I approach music, of course, I'm listening for these little things, these concepts in the music that makes it feel more like a song and less like we made this because it's challenging. For this one, especially that spot in the middle, that slower section, it's not even just the fact that it was in there, it's the fact that they handled it with beauty and grace. There was a section in the song that allowed you to not only think about the song, but allowed the music to change its tone for a second. It allowed an emotional shift in the music. It had that one moment where it did like that half step change, and I'm like, woo, you know, those are just little things that seem minor to a lot of people, but it is a major difference in how the songs feel ends up going. The whole song shifts at a moment like that. When you make a slight adjustment to the sound, you take something that's not really in the key and you make that change, it changes the whole approach to the emotional feel of the song, the story of the song. It is a pivotal turn in the song. I think that probably happened about halfway through, which is a great place to put it, because then it's like, okay, there's the turning point, you know? Just like a book. You have that moment in the book where you're like, oh, there's the bad guy, you know, and now you have to deal with that. In this case, obviously, it wasn't like a super big change like that. It wasn't like they shifted the entire energy of the song, but what it did was tilt it. And just changing that little bit can change the whole emotional weight of everything you had heard before it and makes you think of it and the rest of it in a completely different light. Musically, that's super important. Even though, again, it sounded super minor, there's a reason it's there, and I love that they put it in there. But I also love the sheer bombardment that you were handed multiple times in this song, especially that like slower beat, that like more hip hop flavored section in there. I love that. That was so good. I always get hyped when those happen because you could just kind of rock with them. You know, you just kind of start feeling the beat. And as a drummer, that's kind of my whole thing. So I always get excited when I hear those. But also the fact that they used it not just 2 times, but then brought it back for that like 1 or 2 measures at the end. You know, like that's like a callback to something earlier in the song. And again, just like a story and having that one moment that's a little bit different, that was kind of like part of the puzzle at the end that you were like, oh, that's why that's there. And again, calling back to things I've talked about so many times on this channel, the story of the song is so important. And when you have a song that has a story, you have music. And then when you compare something like this to something else that was like made to be challenging and just a rhythm game challenge hard, play this guys sort of song that has no true heart to it, it changes everything. You realize that a song like this has heart, it has emotion, it has a purpose, it has a story to tell, and it's doing that. It is succeeding in that by giving you this beautiful book to listen to effectively, versus other songs that just don't do that. They are just there to be noise that's challenging. And while that's fine, and again, a very utilitarian approach where it's just, okay, this is what this is made for, with no other purpose than to be challenging, you kind of lose the musicality, you lose the heart, you lose the story, and to me, you lose the music, you lose the art of what this is and why I personally love music. So while I understand, while those utilitarian songs are there, songs like these are why I keep coming back to listen to more music that people send in, and I keep doing these videos because god damn it, this was so good. The production value, the story, everything was so well balanced, from the mix to the story it was telling and how it told it. This is near perfection. I can never give anything a perfect 100% because that would be lying to reality, but at the same time, this might be as close as I've gotten so far, or at least the closest I've gotten since T-Paz a Light song. So if that's anything for you to set a bar to, there it is. This is a very hard bar to match. If you can get to that range, you will have my attention. Anything below that, I'm willing to listen to, but God, this is a high bar. They are amazing composers. But I think that's about all I gotta say on this one. So thank you all so very much for watching, and thank you Ruruchi for putting this into the queue. Amazing song request this time around. If you have anything else you want me to get to, drop it in the comments below and I will do my best as always to get to those. Or if you want to guarantee something, much like Ruruchi did with this one, go to my Patreon or my YouTube memberships. There's a tier where you can force me to listen to whatever, no matter how good, how bad, how absolutely phenomenal or absolute garbage it is, I will listen to it. That's the point of a guaranteed request. But otherwise, if you just like this video and you want to follow me and support me for more stuff in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!